Hi everybody, this is Mr. Crook. I'm your science teacher for botany and zoology. Oh wow. One sec, let me go back. I'm doing this quick video just for help on our Unit 1 project. I'm going to try and have these for every single project of this quarter so that you guys are able to go through everything and you understand how to do it all. I do not want confusion in my class. I want to strictly allow you guys just to show me what you know, what you've learned in this course. So for this first one, the Unit 1 project, it's down here. I had it already and clicked on a button. All right, so what is going to start, you first need to be able to analyze and look at some lab chart and graph data. Let's look at this real fast, just so we can kind of see what it is that we're looking at and everything. So anyways, when you're looking at this, it's got here a document that is showing a map of North America and this little midsection right here called the Taiga. And it has some data there. And it's got this graph here that's kind of interesting. Now these graphs have a lot of information in them. Now, when you first look at it, you may not be able to see that, but we have precipitation in centimeters right here. And then we have temperatures in Celsius right here. And then down here, it looks like they've got the months of the year. So you can see and analyze this data and see some patterns here. You can also see that as precipitation increases, temperature also increases. So at the highest point of precipitation, temperature was also the highest as well. And that comes to bringing a basic understanding of why you think that. But anyways, we see this trend here going like that. Down here is actually showing the data as well for every month, how much precipitation there was. So anyways, you'll use this data to answer some questions. So let's go look at those real fast. So down here is the instructions. It says examine the graph and chart from the previous task and answer the following questions. So using that data, you're going to answer these questions. And I'm just going to skip through all this real fast because this is actually what I'm making is this project help video. There will be a quiz to watch. So make sure when you're listening and watching this video, I will have a few questions that I want you to answer. A couple key things that I feel like the modules don't go into well enough that you will need to understand is what's the difference between climate and weather. Now, I want to quickly go over this very briefly. Very simply, climate is the overall weather conditions that we see over a long period of time. Okay, while today the weather was sunny, tomorrow the weather will be sunny as well. In 1 week, it's got a forecast of rain, right? And so that would be the weather. But climate is what do we expect to see at this time? How has weather naturally been over a long period of time? And so this will be important because in other science classes, and even maybe in this one, you might be touched up with climate change and these different controversial topics that are out there in politics and in the news, but have a really significant impact scientifically that we need to look at. And so I just want to make sure you guys understand the difference between climate and weather. Because for this one, it's going to have you answer some questions based on that graph and chart that we see. So I'm going to go in here. It's going to show you the questions. Obviously, I'm not giving you guys the answer, but it says describe the climate of Anchorage, Alaska. So if you look at that chart that I had up there, you could see that Anchorage, Alaska is in part of the taiga, right? And from the chart, from the figure down there, the graph, what is it showing us? What trends do you expect to see with precipitation and temperature, and how does it go throughout the months? Okay, so describe the climate. I don't want the weather, I want the climate. What do you describe that for me? Okay, so this should be a description, 1 or 2 sentences is what I'm looking for there, of a description of how the climate is. Then it says, what type of climate would you expect to find in other parts of the taiga? Okay, so as you're going down and in other parts of the taiga, what expectations would you expect to see? That data that you see on there is data strictly from Anchorage, Alaska. So what about other parts of the taiga? How would you predict the climate to be different or the same, and why? Okay. Does the climate appear to be an important factor in where the conifers and in where the conifers of the taiga grow? So analyze that stuff there, and you might have to do some more outside sources if you want to. You could look up some information on the internet to help you with that. As we go into lesson 4, it goes into more in depth on this on this stuff right here. These are pretty simple questions, so I'm not going to go over them very much, but it just talks about maple trees and the benefits that they have. Okay, you guys with these, to get full points, please answer fully the question. Do not have that be a one-word answer, especially when it says explain like this. This should be at least a couple that should be a paragraph, a couple sentences at least, where you explain and use evidence to support your claims that you make. Okay? All right, you guys have fun. If you have any questions, let me know.